Now let's begin the calculations for the second part of the experiment. What you have at this point is percent transmittance versus time data. You'll want to convert your percent transmittance to absorbance and then use your calibration curve to convert absorbance into iodine concentration. You're then going to want to plot for each of your experiments the iodine concentration versus time, and the slope of that plot will be the rate. Now you're going to put 3 runs, A, B, and C, on one graph. These are the runs where you varied the iodide concentration. You're going to put D, E, and F, where you varied the peroxydisulfate concentration, on another graph. For each of these 6 lines, from the plots of iodine versus time, you're going to read the iodine concentration at 90 seconds. Calculate your initial iodide and peroxydisulfate concentrations, again by dilution. We need to determine the concentrations of these at 90 seconds, and so we'll do that using the relationships shown here. Now, we have to recognize that for every iodine that we make, we use 2 iodides and we use 1 peroxydisulfate. Now, once we have our concentrations, for runs A, B, C, we'll plot log rate versus log iodide. The slope of that plot will be the order. Similarly, for the other 3 runs, log rate versus log peroxydisulfate, again the slope is the order. Now let's remind ourselves of the form of our rate law. We have our orders now. We're going to round those to the nearest integers, and now we'll calculate the rate constants since we know the rates, we know the concentrations, and we know the orders. We'll have 6 values and we'll average them. We'll also determine the orders using the procedure we used back in experiment 15. Runs A, B, and C varied the iodide concentration, runs D, E, and F the peroxydisulfate, and here you actually will have 3 pairs for each. A and B, A and C, and B and C for the iodide, likewise D and E, D and F, and E and F for the peroxydisulfate. Once we do this, we can write a general rate equation including your values for the rate constant and the orders. And that will finish your calculations for the experiment.